super important. Like, unless you're on stage, when you make eye contact with someone on stage, you give them a really weird face when you're hitting the right note,
I have this funny Eddie Vedder video to show you of like he tried the eye contact thing, and then his audience member, like this one girl in front, she was like looking around like to make sure that he was like looking at her, and then she left halfway through his set. So
What's the most awkward eye contact you've made on stage?
God, I don't know. I think that like the most awkward eye contact that I make is when I notice that somebody is like intently listening or like watching, or like I'll look over once and then they'll like smile and do like a thumbs up or something, and then I like I can't help myself but continuously look at them, and every time they're looking or every time I'm looking at them, they're looking at me.
I think it's always weird when you make eye contact.
Yes.
That's why I try, like, I usually wear glasses for distance, and I like to not wear them on stage because I'm like, let me not accidentally stare into someone's soul.
Yeah. I should wear glasses, but I don't.
So speaking of playing on stage, I know obviously you're here because you play. Otherwise, what would we be doing on Sean's Guitar Lounge? Although you don't play guitar, though. You play piano.
I mean, I kind of play guitar a tiny bit.
You do. All right, that wasn't meant to be an insult.
No, not well. I've technically never like really appeared on stage yet with a guitar, but I'm planning to. I've been learning guitar for like not seriously for a few years, but very seriously this year for the whole TTB thing. Which has made me realize how bad at guitar I actually am. Every once in a while, I'm still like, I don't even know like how I would play that chord. Like I had to figure out what an E flat chord was on the guitar, and it made me realize how limited my abilities are. So
I get that. But I know you're a good musician, so I'm sure you probably sound better than you're giving yourself credit for.
maybe you can be the judge of that.
When's the debut of the TTB thing? And what is the TTB thing?
So the TTV thing, it's a tribute to Tedeschi Trucks Band. It's a really, really great band that I put together with Zach and Todd Lazar. We have John Katke on keys, Gracie Lubisky on vocals, Jim Schramm on saxophone, Caleb Mitchell on trumpet, and then Julian Daniel on drums. And our first show is going to be at the Lyric Theater on April 18th. It's going to be our first debut show. I really wasn't expecting all of this to come up so soon, but I remember we were talking with Doug at Soundtracks of a Generation, and I called him on a Monday, and I was like, hey, like, I know we've been, like, there's been talks about this band. Are you serious about it? And if you are serious about it, do you want to do it? And he's like, absolutely, I want to do it. And then the next day, he called me back, and he was like, I hope you were serious because I booked your gig. And at this point, I had no band put together. It was like a idea that I thought was going to be many months in the talking part, but he was like super serious about it. Like, if you want to do this, I'm totally in. I already called and booked your gig. Now you have to put together a band, and now we have a deadline. Now we're making videos, we're rehearsing music. So yeah, it has been that happened now like a year ago. Less than a year ago, but we were talking about it a year ago.
And now you're kind of coming up on it.
yeah, it kind of all snuck up. We talked about it, like I talked with Todd about it for a few months. We were like, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a cool thing to do. And then Todd texted me about it, and I was like, you know what? I think I should be serious about this. And then it immediately full throttle, like pedal to the metal, everything started happening. But I'm grateful. The band is really good. The music is really good, and I feel like everybody in the band accurately, like they all do the music justice, and that's why this band has been so hard to really get going, and that's why I was really hesitant to do it, because this is one of those things that if you do it, you have to go all the way and put in so much work to do it, or else it's not really, there's no point in doing it anyways.
I get that. Are you doing just Tedeschi Trucks Band original songs that they do, or are you also doing some of the songs that they cover as well?
Some of the songs that they cover. And I don't want to give out too much information on the set list because I want people to come see.
No,
But
I totally get that.
but we are including some of the covers that they do. But
That's cool.
like, and we are including a few like Susan Tedeschi ones as well.
Right
but
on.
99% TTB.
I did ask Zach, I'm like, can I be your guitar tech
Yeah.
for that show?
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to be backstage and hang out for that one.
I told him that you were going to be there. I told him immediately that you had volunteered yourself to be our guitar tech. So that is the expectation.
Right
we
on.
have the seat for you.
That is awesome. I'm like super grateful to have both of you guys as friends, and I love our friendship too because we're so compartmentalized.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I have total conversations with you and Zach, and they're just
I know.
100% separate. And sometimes plans are going on in one, you know, transferring to the other, and that's a lot of fun. And playing with you guys is a lot of fun too.
Ditto.
I know we were just talking about a guitar project, but I think, and you know, I've tell it to everybody that I think you are one of the most underrated keyboard players in Chicago.
Thank you.
And I remember the first time I saw you play, and I was watching your wrists, and I was watching how you really felt in the time in the groove, and I'm like, that's something that people miss, you know. And so I wanted to give you that praise.
Thank you.
know, and
Thank
everybody
you.
is asking when we did the first Sean's Guitar Lounge, who's that girl?
Yeah.
You know, anyone who watched the video that didn't know you was asking me about it. And when I sent the second episode, there was a couple people that texted me and they were like, where's your organ girl? Where? And I'm like, she's not
That
in
is-
the band. She was
that
a
is so
special
sweet.
guest, you know?
I'm super critical of myself, so that's a really nice compliment. Thank you.
No. I mean it too, you know, and it's a lot of fun. And I think what's really cool is, you know, me and your fiance, you know, Zach Avery, you know, that we all know, you know, me and him are a little bit more rooted in the blues scene of Chicago, but you are in kind of your own little land of what you do, but you do some really cool stuff. You know, what are some of the other projects you're doing?
Yeah, I feel like I've not purposely, but I just ended up being kind of diverse in what I did. The first band that I joined when I got to Chicago was the Chain Fleetwood Mac band, which I'm still in. And while I was in college, you know, I studied jazz, and I met a lot of different people and was in a lot of different groups. And then meeting Zach, I got into, you know, more of the blues scene and kind of the jam band scene. I do a lot of wedding music. I have done quite a few tributes. But I think I guess I've settled just generally on live music, rock focused. I do really love the blues, so I do incorporate the blues into a lot of the things that I do. But it definitely doesn't stop there. I think that I've been going back and forth about if I had to like truly define like what I do and what kind of music I do. I don't really have that answer yet, but I think that just saying yes to a lot of things and seeing what sticks has been like a really nice experience, because there's definitely a lot of things that did not stick. You know?
Well, that's part of the, you know, the whole part of art, you know, it's like, you know, the old saying, you know, every finished song is an abandoned project.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you have the things that flop. I mean, even the most successful people, you know,
Yeah.
have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Out of everything recently, or actually, you know what, of all time, what was your favorite performance that you ever did? Most fun, most memorable?
There's been a few, and I'll start the first one that I'd have to say is I played with the Chain at the Arcata Theater in 2023, and Christine McVie had just died. So we did a Christine McVie tribute. We still did most Fleetwood Mac music, but I had a special slot in the show where I did Songbird, and they had a whole slideshow behind me, which, by the way, I did not know there was a slideshow behind me of like pictures of her and videos until after I went back and watched the video. And I was just talking about this with somebody else because there's no way to describe like the feeling of like that was a packed house. It was a sold out show. And I was singing Songbird and I just looked out because there was like lights on the front and everybody was just sobbing.
Oh no.
Everyone was sobbing, but it actually made me feel it was like such a special moment because Christine McVie, I really did not know much about her before I had joined the chain, and learning more about her made me realize that her and I shared some similarities, like between like the ways that we grew up and how we got into music and stuff. And it really made me feel good to do her justice in that way and do that beautiful tribute. And the craziest part, I thought, was that I only got one video of that performance of me. I didn't see any other videos, like maybe like a clip or two, but like the full performance. And the person who took that video, she posted it online on Facebook immediately after I performed. And then she lost her phone at the theater. And so she was not able to retrieve the video. I screen recorded it from Facebook, and then her Facebook ended up getting hacked. So she had to delete her Facebook too. So I'm literally the only one who has the recording of that performance like on my phone. So I felt really.
You got to put that out on a Sophie page.
Yeah.
You definitely do.
I did post it, or well, I had reposted hers, but now it has since like does not exist. So I should repost it.
You know what you should do? Because I've been finding success with this. Because everything's like based around reels and stuff. Is and me and my bassist Chris, we really figured out like a super sad statistic where some high percentage of people don't actually listen to the audio on your videos. So you have to put like a caption or something that makes them turn it on. So it's like you have to do something along the lines. I don't have a good example of what I would write, but something of like, the memoriam of, Christine McVie, and then 15-30 seconds of your favorite part of that video.
Yeah.
And then you put the whole video out and you try to play them off of each other and do something. But you should definitely do that, especially if it means something to you. Like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but no matter what it is, a good performance, a song or anything, I always feel like a closure level of relief when I put it out for people to see, and I can go, that memory that was special to me, or now the world can see that, and I can feel good about like moving on instead of.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at social media. Like Facebook is ironically my favorite place because I feel like the people that I want to reach still can like see my things, like my posts. But whenever I get on Instagram, even if I post something like that I think is really big, it's like 20 likes, no comments. I'd like no, I know that nobody has seen it. But
you know what I try to do? I try to put good karma out there. Like if I see a friend that posts, I will do a right on or awesome or like the fire emoji, just because I'm like, I know how much more valuable the comments are than likes. And so I'm like, you know what? If you're my friend and I actually do dig what's happening, I'm going to go out of my way to do that. And hopefully it'll like come back to me one day.
Yeah. No, that's a good thought. I like it. No, you post, you're really good about posting content.
I'm trying, but I'm with you on like, sometimes I know you can't read comments and you can't like look at the statistics, but you do just to try to figure out if something's working. And sometimes you're just like, oh no. I had one where like it was me playing a gig in up at Mickey Finn's, and it was a reel, and I must have been stressed because my coat hanger shoulders were exceptionally visible, and someone commented, what's up with this dude's shoulders on the reel?
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, ignore.
Yeah.
Just ignore that comment. Keep chugging. Yeah, you look a little weird.
That's terrifying.
No, but you know what? That's why you can't read them. You just can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
I've gotten some off comments before on my Facebook too. I just delete them, like I don't engage.
do you get do you get weird comments just because you're a female musician? Do you feel like?
There's a few people, there's a few dudes specifically that like I used to just accept everyone's Facebook friend request because I'm like, even if I have a few mutual friends with them, I was like, oh, maybe they saw me at a show, like, and I think that was before you could still follow somebody on Facebook without being friends with them. So they couldn't see your content unless you friended them. And then I would friend them, and then they would start messaging me and commenting like the kissy emojis on my.
That's the dark side of social media. If I didn't do music, I don't think I'd have it.
I got a mysterious message that like not that long ago that was like, did you receive the PG photo that I sent you? And it was like this guy that like I kind of
like the PG
the
rating of
yeah,
television PG.
He's like, did you receive the PG photo that I sent you? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you've never messaged me before. And he was like, I don't remember if he said, well, do you want me to send it or something? And he said, oh, like maybe I sent this to the wrong person. And then he blocked me. But before he blocked me, he said, but you're cute too. And then
You know what you should do? You should just, anytime someone sends you a weird message, just send them back your mixtape.
Yeah. I have to make my mixtape. My mixtape has not been updated since 2012. So
I had a girlfriend in high school. I think it was her. She went to the drive-thru once, and some dude gave her his mixtape and like his phone number through the drive-thru window. Like it was in a Wendy's bag, I think. And I'm like sitting there being like, "Yo, that's not bad marketing. I gotta give it to you."
Like a CD or like a.
It was like a link or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I don't even know if it was the person I was thinking of, but it happened to someone I was talking to, and I just thought that was really creative, but also like super weird.
Super weird.
But to be fair, if I could afford to, I would leave CDs on like every table. Just like throw them out like coasters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're not that expensive to make.
You can make fidget spinners with your name on it.
Oh no. Yeah, where's I need some Sophie merch.
Yeah.
You just gotta make hats.
Can I tell you, I really made a good attempt to get some merch made recently. And so I went to Fiverr, and the guy had like amazing like poster material, like very, very much what I was looking for. It was kind of illustrative. And I gave him all the specs of what I wanted. It was like for the back of a business card and maybe like a logo for whatever. And the thing that he sent back, or he messaged me first and he was like, do you want this file like big enough for a t-shirt? And I said, yeah, that would be great. He's like, okay, mate, that would be $25 extra. Are you good with that? And I'm like, okay, mate. And then he sent me the draft. Horrendous.
Oh no.
Horrendous. And
did you do like a deposit on it?
Yeah, you have to pay for it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you ask for a refund after it, or did you try to get another attempt?
I had one free revision. So it's like, okay, I'm going to ask him to revise it, and I'm going to emphasize just that he did absolutely nothing of what I asked. and then he sent it back within like 20 minutes, and I'm like, this is not good. This is not good.
Well, you just gotta, just crowdsource something local, or like do a cheesy, like use like the iPhone to copy your face, and just put it over a white T-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. It all ended with I messaged him back, and I was like, hey, like I know that I only paid, like what I paid for only involves one revision, but this looks really, really bad. could you please just like fix it? And he's like, I could fix it for an extra $50 and you can get as many revisions as you want. And I'm like, I would like to just cancel this. And he's like, no, okay, I'll revise it. Revised it, sent it back, even worse than the original one. And so I just never finished the order. So I paid for it, but like I didn't get anything out of it.
It happens sometimes. You
Yeah.
you come across it.
Yeah. If anybody locally does merch, like I'm super interested in making some legit merch. Something like illustrative, maybe floral. I've got a lot of ideas.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I know when I first met you, I always like poked at you about the keyboard that you played, just because I was like, you're a good keyboard player, but your organ needs to sound better. And I know you've got the Hammond, was it the SK one or
the SK Pro?
The SK Pro. I like that. Every time that you've played that out, I really dig on it.
Yeah. My first keyboard, like my first real keyboard, was a Roland FA08, which is the full-sized FA. And I was dragging that around to gigs and I'm like, I can't carry this anymore. I live on the 3rd floor of an apartment building. So I got the 62 key version. I think 62. Is it 66 or 62? I don't know.
I do not know.
I haven't counted them all.
I know I like Hammond and Nord keyboards. That's the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah. So, the more I played, I realized how lackluster it was. The synthesizers though, like when I was doing the Blondie tribute, that keyboard came in handy, hella handy. And the Fleetwood Mac stuff too, the more 80s stuff, it comes in great. I love it. But so yeah, I was ready to upgrade because I had finally paid it off. And I realized that like all I wanted really was an organ, like a good organ sound. And the Hammond, the real thing, was actually way cheaper than the Nord. And I just didn't want to pay for the color. So I got the Hammond. Best decision I ever made. It is significantly heavier. And it's like learning a keyboard. It's like very archaic kind of compared to the Roland. It looks like a calculator essentially, but it sounds good. Like once I figure out how to use it, I think it'll be good. I've like learned the left half of the keyboard and it comes with a mono synth, which I find super strange that I will never use, but
I don't say never.
Yeah, it'll be handy like that one time, that one weird song that's like, this is finally why I probably spent an extra $1,000 to have a keyboard that can do both, have a synth and an organ.
Well, I think what's happening right now sounds really good. And the last couple gigs we did when we did Buddy Guys, I thought it sounded great.
Oh, it sounded so much better.
But
I felt so at peace walking into Buddy Guys with an actual organ.
I bet. Well, I feel the same way pulling in a hollow body,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't feel like the rocker coming into a blues club, I can pretend a little bit more.
Yeah. I remember a sound guy when I was like playing a theater show and I brought my tiny little Roland and he's like, you don't have anything else? I was like, no. He's like, wow, like you just take up not that much space. I just had all of this ready for you, and I really thought you would be bringing a lot more. I carried it all in one trip, all on my back.
That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we'll get together for some more gigs soon. Maybe do some stuff with Zach. Another episode, Sean's Guitar Lounge down the road, since we have a few more guests. And I appreciate you being the first one to come on. You're the
I'm
first
honored.
you're the first one to do a jam, and you're the first one to do the little podcast thing. And so
thank you for
appreciate
asking
it.
me. Thank you.
Of course. I'm glad to have you, and we'll do this again for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Right on.